When it comes to adventures and epic landscapes, northern Arizona is full of possibilities. There are massive sandstone buttes, a turquoise waterfall wonderland, scenery that looks otherworldly, and then to top it off, you've got the Grand Canyon. Without a doubt, northern Arizona has a lot going for it. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you about the best destinations in northern Arizona, and there's some good ones. Northern Arizona has a diverse landscape. The San Francisco Mountains provide an opportunity for gorgeous alpine hikes. Ancient ruins provide a glimpse into long-lost cultures. There are buttes and formations that feel like they were transplanted to here from another world. And massive canyons leave people feeling tiny. Northern Arizona has an astounding amount of variety, which means it has something for everyone. As a quick warning, many of these destinations can require hiking, and northern Arizona has a tendency to get very hot. Make sure you prepare properly with sturdy footwear, sun protection, plenty of water, and a lot of snacks. I like to pack a cooler in the car with extra water and good snacks so I can enjoy it after a hike. The first stop on the list is Lees Ferry. Lees Ferry sits just east of Page, Arizona, and it's part of Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. In 1864, a pioneer named Jacob Hamlin made a raft capable of carrying people and horses across the Colorado River at this location. This was the first successful ferry across the Colorado River. Now, Lees Ferry is an adventure destination. This is where Grand Canyon rafting trips begin, and it's home to two popular hikes, the Spencer Trail and Cathedral Wash. The Spencer Trail climbs the cliffs to the north and rises 1,500 feet above Lees Ferry. It's a good workout and there's no shade, but the final view is amazing. Cathedral Wash follows a small canyon to the Colorado River. The trail wasn't hard, but we had to do a couple small scrambles to get to the end. The trail has some nice scenery, but in the right light, Cathedral Wash is breathtaking. If you're not a hiker, Lees Ferry has historical sites, balanced rocks, and the Navajo Bridge. The original Navajo Bridge was finished in 1929, then a new bridge was built in 1995. Now you can walk across the original bridge and view Marble Canyon. This is also a regular roosting spot for endangered California condors. The next stop is the city of Flagstaff. Flagstaff sits in the heart of northern Arizona. A lot of people stay here when they're visiting the Grand Canyon, but Flagstaff itself can keep you busy. There are 3 national monuments within 45 minutes of the city. These monuments have hiking, history, and one of them is centered around the crater of a volcano. On top of that, Picture Canyon is a small park with beautiful scenery and trails that sit right in the middle of town, so you don't have to go far to stretch your legs. Downtown Flagstaff has great dining options, and Diablo Burger won out as my favorite place to eat. Flagstaff is also home to Humphreys Peak. This is Arizona's highest peak, and it's a popular hiking destination. The trail climbs 3,500 feet through a ponderosa pine forest. The view from the saddle and the peak are amazing, so if you're up for a challenge, this is a good stop. The next stop is Route 66, and it has several sites all the way across northern Arizona. Route 66 was established in 1926, and this road represents classic Americana. In the 50s and 60s, Route 66 was the most popular road trip option in the West. Songs and TV shows were written about the popular road, and it became known as the Mother Road. Unfortunately, the interstate system led to the route's demise, and it was decommissioned in 1985. The road still exists today, but only in fragments. Kingman, Williams, Flagstaff, and Holbrook are the most notable Route 66 stops in northern Arizona. These little towns have gift shops, diners, and relics dedicated to the old road. I wouldn't tell you to plan a trip around any of these stops, but seeing these towns on your way through is a fun way to enjoy a little history. One of Arizona's most well-known stops is Monument Valley. Monument Valley sits in the northeast corner of Arizona, on the Navajo Reservation. Monument Valley's scenery is nothing short of iconic. The main features are the 3 buttes, West Mitten, East Mitten, and Merrick's Butte. You can see these buttes from the main overlook, but there are a couple other options so you can get a closer look. First, Monument Valley has a 17-mile scenic drive. This drive leads you past the main buttes, but it will also lead you to more formations and landmarks. You can also do tours with local Navajo guides so you can enter restricted areas. The scenic drive was great, but we're hikers at heart, so we also hiked the Wildcat Trail. This is a 4-mile trail that circles the Mittens, while it passes Merrick's Butte. The trail is mostly flat with very little shade, so it gets hot, but we enjoyed it, and it's a great way to take in the scenery. As a side note, if you're headed to Monument Valley, Navajo National Monument and Canyon de Chelly are also in the area. These are great places to stop if you're on your way through, but I wouldn't tell you to plan a trip around them. Next is northern Arizona's other national park. Petrified Forest National Park is about an hour and a half east of Flagstaff. This is a fairly underrated national park. The park is right off I-40 and dogs are allowed on every trail in the park, so it's a very convenient stop if you're passing through the area. The park is centered around the Painted Desert and the ancient forests that once stood within the park's boundaries. The forests are long gone, but the park's massive collection of petrified wood calls back to them. Petrified Forest National Park is relatively small, but it has a rich history and beautiful desert scenes. You can see most of the park in a single day, and it's definitely worth a visit. The little town of Page, Arizona sits just south of the Utah state line, and this town will keep you busy. If you're a water sports enthusiast, Lake Powell has boating and kayaking with gorgeous landmarks like Waweep and Lone Rock. You can explore the Glen Canyon Dam, and there are small trails scattered around town. One of the most popular stops in Page is Horseshoe Bend. This is where the Colorado River curls through Glen Canyon. Horseshoe Bend has an admission fee, but it's an essential stop for every road trip through the American Southwest. The Bend is also a great place to enjoy a sunset. While Horseshoe Bend is popular, Page is really known for its slot canyons. Antelope Canyon in particular, but there are several other slot canyons in Page. Waterholes, Canyon X, Cardiac Canyon, just to name a few. And it seems like a new one pops up each year. In my opinion, Antelope Canyon is still the best. I liked Lower Antelope more than Upper Antelope, but both canyons were gorgeous. Another canyon in northern Arizona that gets plenty of attention is the Grand Canyon, but the North Rim doesn't have massive crowds. To be fair, the North Rim is tough to get to, which helps to keep the crowds small. Driving from the South Rim to the North Rim can take upwards of 3 hours. The closest town is Kanab, Utah, which is 2 hours away. All of that being said, if you're willing to make the drive, the North Rim is amazing. The North Rim has a herd of bison, there's a lodge, a campground, and a visitor center. You'll be treated to incredible views like Bright Angel Point, plus there's a 15-mile scenic drive that leads to views of Angel's Window and Cape Royal. Of course, if you like to hike, the North Rim has you covered too. You can take the Woodforest Trail to hike above the rim, or you can venture into the canyon on the legendary North Kaibab Trail. Just remember, if you go down, you will have to come back up, and this is a very steep trail. Further to the west, the Grand Canyon offers a different kind of experience. The Havasupai Reservation has become a bucket list destination for backpackers and waterfall enthusiasts alike. The trailhead for Havasupai is on the south rim of the Grand Canyon, and it's almost 3 hours from Flagstaff. This place is remote. Havasupai is a waterfall paradise, with picture-perfect turquoise water that invites visitors from all over the world. The Havasupai Reservation has 5 main waterfalls, with Havasu Falls and Mooney Falls being the most popular. But it's not as simple as just hiking to the waterfalls. You will have to get a permit, and permits go through a pre-season lottery each January. Each permit allows for a 3-night stay. To be clear, you can't even access the trailhead parking lot without a permit. And the Havasupai Reservation doesn't allow day hikers. Why don't they allow day hikers, you might ask? Because it's a 20-mile round trip to reach Havasu Falls, with thousands of feet of elevation gain on the way back out. Of course, the views are totally worth the effort. The next destination is lesser known in some ways, but well known in other ways. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument sits against the border of Utah. This remote national monument includes a vast desert landscape with unmaintained four-wheel drive roads, unique rock formations, and gorgeous buttes. The easiest way to access Vermilion Cliffs is from the south. 89A serves as the monument's scenic highway, and this is one of the best stretches of road in northern Arizona. You'll pass the Navajo Bridge, then massive, red-hued cliffs will be on display to the north. It's spectacular. The monument also has three main hikes. White Pocket and Coyote Buttes are on the south side of the park, and they are notoriously difficult to access, with rocky terrain and deep sand covering the path. Four-wheel drive and high clearance are necessary for these roads, and Coyote Butte South requires a permit. The third trail is a little easier to access by car, but you'll also have to get a permit. And this is one of the toughest permits to win in all of Arizona. Coyote Buttes North, also known as the Wave, has soared in popularity in recent years. Its swirls, patterns, and arches have attracted a massive following on social media. And as a result, everyone wants to hike it. But there are only 60 permits available per day, which makes winning a permit rare. Of course, a trip to northern Arizona isn't complete until you stop on the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And the south rim has everything you need for a great adventure. There's camping, lodging, and great restaurants. Wildlife roams around the rim, and there are fun landmarks to explore, while overlooks and viewpoints provide new perspectives on the canyon. Hiking trails can take you down into the canyon for a closer look, and you might even find a hidden rustic lodge at the bottom. I know we did. The South Rim is an essential stop for any northern Arizona road trip. If you need more information about the South Rim or any of these destinations, you can watch all of our northern Arizona episodes right here.